Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. Welcome to the channel. Today I have another pick a pile reading for you. We're going to be focusing on what boundaries you need to set in your life. So if you've been struggling with setting boundaries, or if you feel like you need to have some stricter guidelines in your life but don't know where to begin, this is definitely going to be the video for you. Take time to pause the video if you need to meditate. I have 5 different piles for you to choose from. You can always watch more than one. Just do what you're feeling is right for you. If you like to pick your piles with angel numbers, I'm going to have all the timestamps for the piles in the description box down below. Go ahead and look at those timestamps and see if any of the numbers resonate for you. Now on top of each of the piles, I do have a corresponding crystal. So pile 1 has zebra agate, pile 2 has angel quartz in a heart, pile 3 has carnelian in a heart, pile 4 has rose quartz, and pile 5 has clear quartz. And so while you meditate, no matter if you're looking at the angel numbers, the numbers of the piles, or the crystals themselves, really focus on what your intuition is telling you you need in your life. What do you feel a pull towards that your life is currently lacking? And use that while you meditate to help you pick your piles. I want to say, if you're new to the channel, welcome, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of this family. I post new videos every single week, so definitely turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next one. I post more pick a pile readings like this. I also post collective readings along with other educational videos to help you all along your spiritual journeys. If this reading resonates and you'd like to leave a donation, or if you want to purchase your own reading, that's all really appreciated. It helps out the channel so much. And if you want to contact me for either of those, all my links are going to be in the description box down below. And if you want to see some more of my readings, go ahead and join my Facebook group. The link is going to be in the description box down below. After this video, there's going to be more videos of mine linked in the cards above that you can check out. And with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start off the readings. So those of you who chose pile 1 with zebra agate, I'm going to go ahead and put your crystal off to the side here. So for your cards, you have 6 of Cups, Knight of Wands, Page of Cups, 6 of Wands, Rihanna, Self-Trust, and Baba Yaga, Authenticity. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So the 6 of Cups represents an energy of memories, of connection, because it's cups that represents our emotions. And number 6 is a number that is really about connection and responsibilities with others, and having that unity and that connection, so to speak, with our loved ones in our lives. And so this makes me think that the boundary you need to set is your relationship with the people who are close to you. And also in regards to yourself a little bit, you have to have certain boundaries in where you're going to actually stick up for yourself, because you have the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups. So these are outsiders' energies, and I think this might be a little bit of your energy, but I think the way it's being portrayed here in your energy is that people are twisting things for you and trying to manipulate how you feel. And it's not necessarily in a bad way. Sometimes people have good intentions for us, but they are not us. And so you need to have those boundaries of when you listen to them and when you don't. So the Knight of Wands is an energy in which you're a go-getter, in which someone is focused on a goal and they're going to go and get it, but they're impulsive. They're figuring out the plan as they go. So this is not someone who has a path that's planned and perfected in order to reach that goal. It's something where it's like, I want that. I'm going to go get it, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. And so because it's such an impulsive energy, there's a lack of control. There's a lack of understanding. And so it makes it a lot more challenging than it truly needs to be. And that's why this is a Knight energy. It's not yet a King, because this energy is not yet mastered. It's learning, it's stumbling. Well, the Page of Cups is an energy of offers, of dreams, of fantasies. And so it's this energy of I want, but there's not necessarily follow through. It's an energy of a dreamer, but someone who is still stuck in the imagination but hasn't taken the steps to do it. So the Page of Cups coupled with the Knight of Wands represents an energy in which they have the dreamlike ability to desire what they want, to figure out what it is that I want. But then the Knight of Wands has the follow through to actually take action, even if it's not the best action, even if it's not the best step forward. It's still some sort of progress. And so it's like this energy of complete creativity, of complete ideas and imagination and the potential for it, and for there to be a little bit of follow through in the beginning. And then the 6 of Wands is an energy that is about success, about achieving this goal, being satisfied and being victorious, where other people are aware of you. This is a card that represents a lot of public recognition. And so because of this, there is a need to have self-trust in the situation where you might not know where you're going, but you believe in where you're going. And you also are authentic to who you are. And so I think when it comes to setting these boundaries in your life, you first need to understand you're capable of whatever you set your mind to. Whatever it is you want, you have the ability to go out and get. But I think where the boundaries come into play is that you have some people in your life that feel because they're close to you, they can tell you what it is you want and how to go get it. And this victory that you get is then going to be cultivated by them. They might mean the best for you. They might want you to be secure, but something that they want isn't necessarily what you want. And so with this Rihanna card here, you have to have the self-trust for you to believe in your own dreams, in your own path, in your own way of maybe not knowing how you're going to get it, but just the self-belief that you're going to be able to get it, that you are going to be victorious. I think you have a lot of people in your life who are inserting their opinions on you and the way you live your life and the things that you're doing. And I feel like for some of you, this is like your career or your relationships, and they have a lot of things that they're trying to say, that they're trying to inject into your head. And honestly, your spirit guides are looking at you like, set boundaries, tell them no. It's not their life, it's your life. They might mean well. Some people may not mean well. And it's not really up to you to figure out who means well and who doesn't mean well. It's about you listening to what's best for you. And so if someone says something and it resonates and you want to take that advice because it feels authentic to you, go ahead and do it. But if someone has advice that doesn't fit with where your plans of your life are and isn't helpful, and you feel like it's only meant to stifle you or to control you, you don't need to listen to it. It's okay to say no. It's okay to tell people, I understand that you think this is smart for me, but I don't, so I don't need to do it. Especially a lot of you watching this, like I feel like you're over 18. And so because of that, you don't need to listen to other people. Yes, it's great to like value their opinion and have people in your life who care about you. But I mean, even if this is a romantic relationship and your partner's trying to tell you what to do, that doesn't mean you have to listen. It doesn't mean you owe them your own life and the path that you are living. And yes, you know with certain people, there's going to be a little level of compromise. But to me, this feels like it's an independent path for you. It feels like this is something that you're doing because you want to. And even if you're with someone, this aspect of your life is really none of their business. You know, they're just meant to support you the same way that you're going to support them with things that you might not necessarily believe in. And so it feels like to me, the boundary needs to be set that you don't need this person's permission to do something. You don't need them to value it or see it from your same perspective in order to then allow yourself to do it. Their value of a situation doesn't mean anything. Your self-trust, your own value does matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter who's in your ear about this, because all that matters is that you have the idea and the ability to just take a step forward. Even if it's not necessarily the right step forward, you're going to figure it out because you're trusting yourself, you're listening to your intuition, you're being authentic. That's the boundary you need to set with people, is that you're going to be okay, that you're gonna figure it out. You might be winging it, you might be faking it until you make it. But regardless of what you're doing, you have trust in yourself, you're gonna make it work. And the cards are indicating you will be successful. So the boundary you really need to set with people is that they can love you, they can care about you, they can have their opinions. That doesn't mean that you owe it to them to listen to their opinions. It doesn't mean that you owe them the way you live your life. You owe it to yourself to set these boundaries and pay attention to what you want. Check in with yourself. Be victorious for something that you genuinely wanted. Who cares if you want it if it's something you don't even care for? And I feel like someone's spirit guide wants me to say this in a very specific way. They want you to imagine that this goal or idea or career, relationship, whatever it is that this other person is trying to tell you what to do for is. And they want you to think about if this wasn't something external, if this was something like winning a bunch of books or winning some guitar or winning something that you don't have personal use for in your life. Let's say that you hate to read and you go ahead and you enter this competition to win $1,000 to spend at a bookstore. You might win the $1,000 at a bookstore, but if you hate to read, that doesn't do you any good. And your spirit guides are pointing out, it's like it doesn't matter if you're going to be victorious at someone else's idea if it's not authentic to what you want. If you don't have a desire for it, why are you following through with it? If you don't want to date this person, why are you agreeing to going on a date with them? If you don't want this career, why are you even going to this job interview? That's the questions you need to ask yourself. I feel like your spirit guides are encouraging you to evaluate your life, and when someone's pushing you towards something, you really need to evaluate if this is something that you want or is it something that they want. And if it's something that they want, you need to say no. You need to trust yourself to know that your path, while you might not have all the answers, is going to be one that you are figuring out, and whatever they have to say about it doesn't matter, because you trust in yourself. You trust in your ability to be successful, even if it's not the way that they would have mapped it out. Even if you don't know where to go yet, you're trusting that the answers will come to you. And I feel like some of you, maybe you're struggling with having this idea, working on it, and it's not really paying off just yet. And, you know, people in your ear telling you to quit, telling you to walk away, telling you it's not worth it anymore. You really need to sit with yourself and set these boundaries with others where you have the time and the mental space, instead of worrying about what everyone else is saying, to really evaluate why this goal hasn't worked out yet. Is it literally a matter of timing and you just need some more time and you see that it's going to pay off? Is it really something where you're not putting in enough work or effort and you could be doing more in order to improve the results? And if that's something you need to start to do by setting boundaries with others, saying no to doing what they want and just focusing on yourself? Or is this something in which, you know, it's really not working out and you kind of need to evaluate, you know, what changes to your moves do you make in order to make it become more successful? I think this is a really good time for you to start to evaluate things, reflect on them, but come to your own conclusions by being authentic to yourself. Be really truthful and honest with yourself. And also, this goes for those of you where you're trying to do two things at once. You're trying to do something that's important to you while balancing it with something else that someone else wanted for you. You might have to tell them, I don't have time to do that. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make sense for me. It doesn't fit in alignment with what I want out of my life. And so I'm just going to focus on what I feel is right for me. Like for those of you where maybe you're in school, there could be a class that you really want to take and you have someone else in your life saying, oh, I took this class, I really think you should take it. But it's not in alignment with what you feel is meant for you and something that you would excel in. Why are you going to waste your time doing something to appease them when it's not benefiting you, it's hindering you? Because now you're splitting your time studying these two things when you could just put in your all into one. To me, it feels like this boundary needs to be with those that you love and care about and say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from, but I know what's best for me. I trust myself. And so I'm going to listen to myself. Say no to what they want and focus on what you want. And I feel like that's what I keep repeating, but that's what your spirit guides want you to know. So that's the boundary you really need to work on right now. I'm sending you all so much love as you do this. I know it's not always easy to tell our loved ones no, especially when they do mean the best for us. But just remember that as much as they might love and care about you, a lot of their concerns could be coming from a place of fear or their own projections. And so ultimately they just want you to be okay and happy with your life. And so because of that, you know, maybe they might be nervous or apprehensive about how you're going about it, but they will support you. Because ultimately it's going to work out for yourself. You're going to be authentic and trust yourself enough that you are victorious with this. And so I really hope this reading helps you figure out where you need to build better boundaries in your life. If this resonates for you, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. And if you want to get your own private reading, all the ways you can purchase one is going to be linked in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose pile 2 with the angel quartz in the shape of a heart, I'm going to put your crystal off to the side here. And for your cards, you have Death reversed, the Sun, Seven of Swords reversed, Seven of Wheels reversed, and Aphrodite self-love. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So the Death card is reversed, and so Death reversed represents an energy of stagnancy. This energy of transformation is no more. It represents an energy in which things are kind of rotting. You go from this energy that like is this cycle, this completion, this level up, to this energy of something just being there, being in the negative vibration, the low vibration, so to speak. And so it represents an energy of potential of change, of transformation that is not living up to that yet, who is simply just existing, who is just there, and instead of feeding into the next cycle is stuck in a phase that they can't get out of. They can't transition, they can't move, they can't elevate. Then you have the Sun card, and the Sun represents an energy of illumination, of positivity, of optimism, and allowing yourself to see everything, because the Sun is lighting everything up for you. You get to see it as it truly is. Nothing can hide in the shadows because there is no shadows. And you have the Seven of Swords reversed. The Seven of Swords indicates an energy of betrayal, of something sneaky going on behind your back. And so to have it reversed indicates an energy of self-awareness to a situation that is not ideal. There's an energy in which either someone has slipped up and you've seen their true colors, or you have a heightened sense of intuition and you know that something is not as it seems, but you don't have all the answers yet. There's still secrecy, there's still shadows, but you know something is not adding up. The math isn't mathing. And then you have the Seven of Wheels reversed. And so the Seven of Wheels is this energy of progress. It's this energy of kind of planting your seeds and waiting for them to grow and being patient that what you have grown is going to be worthwhile. And so when it's reversed, reversed, it indicates an energy of being disappointed with what you get, not reaping your rewards, or having them not live up to the expectations that you once planned for them. It's things not going as you hoped and your intention not living up to that standard. Then you have Aphrodite's self-love. So Aphrodite is a goddess that really represents sensuality and sexuality. And she represents this energy of self-love because yes, while everyone else was obsessed with her, she still was truly confident in who she was, regardless of the validation from others. She felt that in herself. She loved herself, and therefore people were drawn to her confidence. And so when it comes to you and the boundaries that you set, I really feel like this is a boundary that you need to set with yourself. And I know this is going to be difficult for some of you to hear, but the boundaries in your life, or the lack of boundaries in your life, stem from a lack of authority within your own life. It stems from this place of not being in control and not feeling like you have the power to set boundaries with yourself and be disciplined with yourself. So therefore, how are you going to set boundaries with anyone else in your life? There's this lack of agency in your own life to take things into your own hands, to take them under your control. Some of you have this energy of toxic positivity where you might have negative things going on around you and you're just being optimistic that it's all going to work out, that it's all going to be okay. And so the boundary you need to set with yourself is that if you really think it's going to all be okay, you need to set certain action to make it so. Right now, all these three cards, they're reversed. You can have this confidence for yourself, but this confidence means nothing if there's no work or effort put into it. Aphrodite had this confidence because she was beautiful, and therefore it was a cycle that was feeding itself. Her confidence made her more beautiful because she was exceeding that. And so it kind of is like she created this own cycle for herself where because she felt so beautiful, she acted confident, she acted beautifully. And so therefore it fed the cycle that kept repeating itself because those positive feelings and that confidence made her act that way, and therefore she actually was beautiful and she was adorned by everyone. And so there's this energy of really needing to feed your own cycle and have this self-love. And right now you can't do it because the cycle of death is stuck. It's stagnant. You're not feeding into it. It's not a cycle that can complete because you're here, you're stuck being optimistic, but none of your actions portray an energy of you going out and being happy with what you have and feeding the cycle of allowing yourself to grow and transform. To me, it feels like there's this stuck energy where you don't want to change. You don't want to do the work. You don't want to have this boundary with yourself to be disciplined. It's like you want the easy way out. You want things to come to you naturally. You're trying to be optimistic and trying to manifest everything. Manifestation is 50% your effort and 50% of the universe's effort. The universe isn't doing all the work for you. And if you don't go and make any effort, the universe can send things your way. If you don't open that door, you're not inviting them in. They're not going to break into your house. You're not just going to get manifestations happen in front of you without doing any effort. Even if you're going to do something like win the lotto, you still have to play the lotto. And so there's this disconnect where you're not setting boundaries for yourself. You're not being disciplined with yourself. And therefore, you're not having the self-respect you need to fully love yourself. And I feel like your spirit guides are being a bit harsh with this, but the boundaries you need to set is that you need to light this fire under your own ass. You need to light that fire to get you motivated, because right now you have these ideas, you have these aspirations, you have all these things that you're wishing you had, but there's no effort. It's like you are reaping what you've sown and you've not put any work in. And the Seven of Swords is reversed because you know this. You're self-aware of this. This isn't new information, but it's information that when you think about it, you put it in a box and you block it away. You don't want to accept the fact that sometimes you are the problem, and you don't want to accept that just because you acknowledge that doesn't mean anything if there's no action. The boundary you need to set with yourself right now, your spirit guides are telling you, you need to make yourself do things that you don't want to do. And not in the sense of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to the point where it's dangerous. This is basic stuff. This is saying, what do you want? And what is something you need to do in order to get it? And is that something you haven't done? And if you're not doing it, you need to ask yourself why. Because a lot of you, it's invalid reasons. And you don't really have an excuse for why you haven't done it, just besides the fact that you didn't want to, or because you thought it was going to be difficult. But there's not been any effort for you to prove that. And so the boundary to set with yourself is that you need to force yourself to do it even if it's not fun. You really need to have a set structure and routine that you're implementing into your life in order to achieve your goals. Because there's no reason that you need to have the Death card and the Seven of Wheels reversed. You can turn them upright. You can have the cycle that's feeding itself, where because you're setting this boundary with yourself, you're achieving your goals, and because of that, it's like you're trying to chase even more goals and then do even more things to achieve it, just like with Aphrodite, feeding that cycle and finding finding the self-fulfillment in this cycle. And then the Seven of Wheels can be upright because it's like you planted the seeds and you tended to the garden. Right now you're planting the seeds, you're walking away saying, my job's done. You still need to water it. Just because the sunlight's hitting it isn't meaning that all the work is done. You need to water those plants so they don't die. And so you need to have the discipline within yourself to continue to take care of the things in your life, to stay on top of them, to stay organized. If something looks like it's dying, if something looks like it's not working out, you need to make the adjustments to transform it so it goes from this death energy into this life energy. Because death is a transformation. If you look here in the image, life is growing from the skull here. So it's this cycle that's continuing. And right now, you're walking away, you're just leaving everything to rot. You're leaving everything to sit out in the sun and not receive the nutrients that it needs. Now the Seven of Swords, that's a card that you don't necessarily want to bring upright because that would just mean that someone's doing something behind your back. That's a card you want to get rid of altogether. But the thing is, right now the Seven of Swords is talking about you, your own energy. So by setting this boundary with yourself where you're being more disciplined, you're staying on top of things and you're actually achieving your goals, that card's not going to be following you anymore. It's not going to be a part of this narrative because you're no longer going to be self-aware by not doing anything. The Seven of Swords is an energy of betrayal that you're aware of, but yet not doing anything about. This betrayal is coming internally. The call is coming from inside the house, basically. And so if you allow yourself to set this boundary with yourself, you can get rid of this card where it's not following you. Then all these cards are upright, and then you have everything in balance, everything working together. You can start to find more confidence in your life, in your goals. And so therefore, you're going to have this confidence with your own life. This is really the biggest boundary you need to set right now because this is your biggest block in life. This is your biggest obstacle. You're in your own way. And that's what your spirit guides want to know. And this message might have been a little bit harsh, but you need to understand that the reason this is so harsh is because it's in your control. You have the ability to stop it and no one else does because it's a boundary that's with yourself. So you have to be upfront and honest with yourself and stop running from this. You know with the Seven of Swords right now that you are your own problem. And if you can just get out of your own way and find this balance and start to take better care of yourself and set these boundaries where you're more disciplined. Some of you really need to work on your solar plexus chakra. Become more determined, have a stronger willpower, and really work on strengthening the goals and the limitations you set on yourself, not in a way where you're holding yourself back, but in a way you're proving to yourself that if you set your mind to something, you have the ability to achieve it. Right now, you're too lenient with yourself. You give yourself too much of a break. You give yourself too much of a pass, and it's only hindering you because you're not giving yourself the space to grow. You're taking any little discomfort as something you just give up and walk away from. And you're not going to receive the results you want with your life if you just continue to do that. You're being a little too optimistic and you need to be a little bit more realistic with what's going on. And so I'm sending you all so much love right now. I know this isn't easy, but sometimes the brutal truth is what you need to hear. And so if this resonates for you, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family, and make sure you turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I'm going to have other videos linked to the cards above for you to watch now. And if you want to leave a donation or if you want to purchase your own reading, I would greatly appreciate it. All the ways you can contact me to purchase one of them is in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose pile number 3 with the Carnelian Heart, I'm going to put your crystal off to the side here. And for your cards, you have the Queen of Wands, 7 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and Hera Commitment. So I'm going to go ahead and rearrange these cards so you can see them a bit better. So the Queen of Wands represents an energy that is very focused on what they want and not going to settle for less. It's an energy in which you are very determined, very driven, and confident that you're going to get exactly what you want. You're not going to take no for an answer, and if an obstacle's in your way, you're going to find a solution around it and you're going to keep moving forward. The Queen of Wands represents an energy that is very independent because this queen here is not reliant on anyone. She is confident in herself to be successful, to get everything she wants, to accomplish it all. And because she has that passion, that motivation, and that drive, she's successful enough to get everything she wants, regardless of who she's with, who she's relying on. She's going to do it for herself. The 7 of Wands represents an energy in which you can be defensive, in which you really need to protect yourself or feel like you need to protect yourself against others. It creates this energy and this dynamic in which you're going to stand up for yourself. You're not going to make yourself small to fit down to what everyone else wants. So the 2 wands here, they represent an energy of not being quiet, not being silenced by any means. And it represents an energy in which you're going to fight for what you want. You're going to have your own back. You're going to do what you need to do to achieve your goals, to have everything you want be accomplished, no matter how difficult it may be. Now, the Three of Cups, again, goes to this energy not being silenced, not letting people shut you up. The Three of Cups can sometimes be seen as a gossip because it represents a time of celebration, a time of having fun. You're going to share that news with everyone. You're not just going to keep it to yourself. It's like going out and telling everyone everything, and not in a sense where you're trying to be overly zealous with what you have, but in a sense where you're proud of what you have. You're showing it off. So the cards that we have here for the tarot represent an energy of confidence, and they represent an energy of being authentic to who you are and being confident with who you are and embracing that. And then we have Hera and we have commitment. So the grouping of these cards together makes me feel like the boundaries you need to set with yourself is not that you need to dim your own light or shut yourself down. It simply comes from the fact that I go back to this Queen of Wands. You're being very independent and you're very focused on yourself where you're getting defensive. And it feels to me there's a tendency to have a lack of regard for other people's boundaries or your commitments with them. To me, it feels like your boundary that you need to set is that you listen to other people's boundaries. And I feel like this is a little bit difficult because some of you, it's like you mean well, you don't have negative intentions, but you do have this energy where you come across as a little bit pushy. And because you're so determined, that's great for you, but can sometimes suck for everyone else. And so with Hera, with commitments here, she represents an energy of staying true to your commitment, of holding true, of standing tall regardless of the people trying to knock you down. And so you have the ability to protect yourself, to stand up. So the level of commitment here is not the fact that you aren't committed to your goals and your desires. It's that you think that sometimes other people should bend their own desires, their own boundaries for you. To me, it kind of feels like some of you, you'll have a hard time empathizing or sympathizing with other people. And again, it doesn't necessarily feel like this is malicious. This just feels like there's a self-centeredness and a lack of awareness for other people. And it feels like there needs to be better boundaries that are set with you for you to listen to what others are telling you, to take in that advice and not become so defensive with it. When someone is setting a boundary with yourself, don't take it as a personal attack. Understand it and respect it. And so to me, it feels like the boundary that really needs to be set is that you learn how to respect other people's boundaries. You fully understand them, because I feel like some of you, you're sitting here and because you're so focused on what you want, you're now coming up with, well, we're all human, we're all going to make mistakes, we're not going to be able to follow someone's boundaries all the time. To which your spirit guides are saying, no, you're not going to be able to follow someone's boundaries all the time. Sometimes you're going to mess up. That is a part of being human. But the way you go about messing it up, one, can't be purposeful, and two, it also is something that once you do mess up, you acknowledge that and you apologize and you move on. You don't double down on, I didn't mean to, so it's not a big deal. To me, it feels like there's this energy of a little bit of arrogance, and this can be worked on, but you need to have the commitment to work on it. The boundary you need to set with yourself is that you're going to humble yourself a bit, and you're going to see things from other people's perspective, because there's a lack of boundaries for yourself, there's a lack of regulations for yourself. And the thing is, the reason your spirit guides are pointing this out to you is because it's hypocritical, because these are the same things you get annoyed with people about if they did it to you, but it's okay for you to do it to them. And that's where your spirit guides have a problem with this. This is why you're being told to bring your awareness to it, because it's not that you're protective of yourself. It's not that you're confident. It's not that you're enjoying your life and you're celebrating your life and you feel like everyone's just trying to bring you down. You need to have boundaries in your life, because it's not fair for you to bulldoze over everyone else and then get upset when they call you out for it. If you want to continue to be this way and bulldoze over people, that's fine. You can't get upset when they say you don't respect your boundaries and they want to cut you out anymore. I think the reason your spirit guides are pointing this out to you is because you're so lost in your own world that you don't realize the consequences of your own actions, and you don't realize why you should be facing those consequences. And that's where there needs to be a commitment to doing better. You can be independent while still being respectful. You can have a good time while still understanding that not everyone has the same limits as you. Sometimes people, like if we're taking this literally as going out, you don't have to get everyone to drink with you. You don't need to get everyone to stay out as late as you. Some people don't drink. Some people want to go home early. Some people have other responsibilities, and that's their boundaries. And they're not a buzzkill. They're not a killjoy because of this. And some people truly don't like your personality and they don't want to hang out with you. And you don't understand that. With the Seven of Swords here, not everyone is out to get you. Some people just don't want to spend time with you. And you need to respect that boundary instead of forcing them to like you. And I also feel like there's some of you, the way you get so defensive when someone doesn't like you, you can't just let them be indifferent about you. You then have to go and say that you hate them, that they're the worst thing ever, and spread these rumors about them and gossip about them. Part of the boundaries for yourself with being respectful is not making up lies about others, or even if it's true, not continuing to gossip about people behind their back. It feels like your boundary with yourself is a commitment to doing better and being better, where you embrace the good qualities of these cards, but you reduce the negative ones of them. And I think that's why you chose Carnelian. This is representing strength. This represents an energy of having to be vulnerable. If we think about the strength card in tarot, it's vulnerability that leads to strength. There's resilience with strength. But there's no resilience right now because you're not holding yourself back. You're allowing yourself a free pass. And so you're just doing everything and then wondering why everyone is upset with you, or why they would want to even implement boundaries with you in the first place. Because the reason for the boundaries is because you don't respect them at all. And it feels like for some of you, there's a genuine disconnect. You didn't realize that you were coming across this way. And this is not something like your spirit guides are saying it's one and done. They're telling you this message because this is a boundary you need to set. You can set these boundaries and parameters with yourself where you're not bulldozing over people. The specific boundary to set with people is the boundaries you expect them to have with you. And then work on your relationships from there. If you feel there's issues or tension between you and someone else, go to them, talk it out. But be respectful about it. Don't come at them being upset with them. To me, it feels like the issue isn't the fact that you're in their life. It's not the fact that you have this personality that you have. Like, your spirit guides don't want you to silence yourself. They don't want you to dim your own light. They just want you to acknowledge not everyone is you. Not everyone has this energy that's all the way up here. Everyone has different points. And so you're trying to force these people to meet you because it's what you want, but you never ask them what they wanted. And so really with this boundary, just start to be a little bit more compassionate, empathize a little bit, put yourself in their shoes, see their perspective, and be respectful when they tell you yes or no to something, and allow yourself to be more committed to not bulldozing over them. And some of you too, it comes to this energy of you are such a wild, carefree energy. And in your own relationships, your partner's feeling like you're not committed to them. And when they try and express this to you, when they try and work it out with you, you put the blame on them. You gaslight them in a sense. When really, if this is someone you genuinely love and you care about, there needs to be some sort of compromise so that they feel this commitment, they feel this love from you. You can't just keep telling someone over and over again that you love them without any action, without them seeing it and understanding it, because you're reassuring them with your actions. Words don't mean anything if your actions don't line it up. And I feel like some of you, it's like the boundaries you need to set is that you respect your partner. You can find a balance between your energy and them and what they want. It's not one or the other. There is a middle ground, and it feels like you're trying to act like there is none. And that's what your spirit guides are calling you out for. If you want this commitment, you need to find this middle ground. You need to find a compromise to make it work. You need to set these boundaries where you understand their perspective, and you set a boundary with yourself in which you're determined to be committed and make these things work. Otherwise, things are going to start falling apart in front of you. And so I'm sorry that this message for you was a little bit harsh, but I feel like some of you needed this wake-up call. And for those of you who didn't see this before, didn't understand it, I hope that this gave you a shift in your perspective that you need so you can start to fix any damaging relationships that you have going on in your life. And so if this did resonate for you, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. I'm going to have other videos of mine linked in the cards above for you to watch next, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. If you want to purchase your own reading, or if this reading resonated and you want to leave a donation, I really appreciate it. All the ways you can contact me is going to be in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose pile 4 with rose quartz, I'm going to put your crystal off to the side here. So for your cards, you have the Wheel of Fortune, Strength Reversed, Justice, the Four of Swords, and Valkyrie's Redemption. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange your cards so you can see them a bit better. So right away, I'm getting the sense that this boundary has to do with a person in your life. And the reason for that is I feel like there's a karmic connection, a karmic situation going on here. And I say that because you have the Wheel of Fortune and you have the Justice card. So to me, this represents a boundary that you need to learn some sort of lesson from. This is a boundary that's meant because you're karmically tied to another person. Now, the thing about this person, they could be a romantic relationship that's karmic for you. This could also be a platonic person who's karmic for you. It doesn't really matter who this person is. It just is a karmic relationship that's in your life. To me, it feels like there has been some issues, complications within this relationship in which maybe this person is no longer in your life, or if they are in your life, there's a lot of struggles with them. It feels like you're not on the same page, and it seems like this person has hurt you, and there's been some sort of betrayal, or there's been something that's went on karmically between you that has caused a lot of pain and for you to be really hurt. And so this person and you are not on the best of terms. It feels like this relationship is really struggling, if there's even one intact at this point. And I say that because the Strength card is reversed. So to me, this boundary seems like you need to start setting boundaries with this person in your life, where if you're letting them back in, it's under very strict terms, very strict guidelines, because this person has a tendency to ignore you and bulldoze right over you, and it leaves you feeling so energetically drained because you have the Four Swords here. To me, it feels like you give your all to them, you keep on giving, they keep on taking, and it's not a balanced relationship, it's not a balanced dynamic. And so you need to set boundaries with this person. If you want them to be in your life, that's fine, but you need to do so under your terms. It feels like you always give this person the benefit of the doubt with this Redemption card, and they come back into your life without any changes, without any consequences, and therefore the same pattern repeats over and over. This is the karmic lesson for you in which you need to set a boundary, because you have to learn, if you don't give someone a consequence, they're not going to change their behavior, they're not going to grow, they're not going to become a better person. You got to stop giving this person the benefit of the doubt when you have no boundaries with them. So what you really need to sit and think about right now with the Justice card is, how can you make this a fair exchange, an energetic situation for both of you? What do they get from you that you want to get from them in return? And then once you figure out what you need to do to match them energetically, tell them that. Say, you can be in my life, but you've required this from me, so I require this from you. And be totally upfront with them. To me, it feels like this is someone where, because you have a karmic tie to one another, they want to be in your life. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to respect these boundaries, but they'll hear you, they'll understand you. And if they try and play dumb, that's them trying to manipulate the situation. It really feels like you got to be really strict and firm with the boundaries you set with this person, because they're trying to test you. They want to see how much they can get for nothing. And so when you're setting these boundaries, not only do you have a plan of what the boundary is, you have to have a consequence to them breaking this boundary, because this person is going to continue to break these boundaries to see what you're going to do. And some of you, you're going to have to cut them back out of your life again so they see that you're not playing these games. And some of you, like karmically, energetically, the boundary is that you cut them out for good. There is no redemption. If they are not like following what you're saying, and if they're going to continue to play these games with you, why are you going to play a game that leaves you drained, that leaves you feeling vulnerable, and doesn't make you feel strong, doesn't make you feel secure? It doesn't matter if this person is karmic, even if this is a romantic relationship and you're like, this person's karmic, I'm destined to be with them. That's not what karmic means. Karmic means you're destined to have this person in your life so you learn certain lessons. It doesn't mean you're destined to be with them. And so just because there's a karmic connection here, you need to set boundaries with yourself that you'll understand the lesson and you'll walk away if need be. Sometimes the karmic lesson itself is saying, I'm not signing up for this stupid game anymore. I'm not continuing to put my time, my energy into something that is only causing pain. If they don't learn their own karmic lessons, that's not on me, because I've gotten everything I can out of the situation. To me, the boundary you need to set in your life is with the people in your life, and have them actually face consequences. Don't continue to give them a free pass. Don't be like, you know what, I set this boundary, but it's okay, I love you, I care about you, so it's fine, I'll get over it. You don't need to get over things. If it's a boundary, you've set it for a reason, you need to stick with it. You really need to watch how people treat you and what they take from you, and you also got to pay attention to what others give you. Set boundaries where if you're giving so much to a person, the least they can do is also give the same back to you in return. If this person is only taking, not giving you anything, and is never there when you need support, set that boundary with them that, okay, they're not going to pick up when you call them, so now you don't pick up when they call you. If this person doesn't loan you money, but you've given them so much money, stop giving them money. Cut them off with what they're taking from you. And once they can no longer get it, you're going to see their true colors. This person's probably going to be pissed. It's not going to be pleasant, but if that's the case, start cutting them out. Like, this person's not worth your time. They're not worth your energy. With this redemption, they get one more free pass. They get one chance to respect your boundaries or get out of your life. That's the strict guidelines you need to listen to. And that's what your spirit guides want you to know, is that everyone is allowed to mess up a boundary one time by mistake. But then they got to accept it, they need to acknowledge it, and they need to prevent it. If this person is constantly pushing your boundaries, it's because they don't care that you've set them. And then you need to deliver the consequence of it. To me, it feels like you talk a lot of talk, you set a lot of quote unquote boundaries, and I'm saying that in air quotes, but you don't follow through of the consequences with them. So they're not really boundaries. They're just a lot of words that you're talking into the air, and they're not registering. You got to be upfront with the people in your life and see what they're really using you for. And then use that as an opportunity to see their true intention and see their true colors. Don't ignore your gut anymore. Don't think just because this person says that they care about you that they actually mean it. Redemption is earned. It's not just given. And karmically right now, yes, you're karmically connected. That doesn't mean you don't set boundaries for these people. It doesn't mean they get a free pass to treat you however they want to. You really need to start putting yourself first. And your spirit guides want you to really understand that these boundaries and these consequences need to be implemented, or else they don't mean anything. That's the issue. You think you have boundaries, but you don't follow through with them. So you don't have boundaries. You let people push you around. You let them get away with stuff. Sometimes you need to be someone's nightmare in order for them to learn their lesson. And karmically, that might be what you need to do. You need to have these boundaries and then prevent them from getting what they want. And that's the karmic lesson that you were brought into each other's lives for. They were meant to learn that they can't get away with things forever, and you were meant to learn how to set boundaries and how to follow through with them even when it's not fun, even when it's difficult. And to me, it really feels like you only struggle with this karmic person. It feels like it's easier for you to set boundaries with other people in your life, but for some reason, this person just has a hold of you. And so it's like you need to set boundaries with this karmic person, with this soulmate, if that's what you think they are. If they're your twin flame and you think that they're your twin flame and they have to be in your life, your spirit guides are saying no, they don't. They're probably a false twin flame. Karmic relationships are not always these great things, and there's false twin flames. There are people that pretend to be your twin flame when they're really not. This seems like it's a toxic situation, and you need to start setting boundaries before it destroys you, and that's what your spirit guides want you to know. This person might be karmically connected to you, but that doesn't mean you owe them anything. And they might say they love you, but that doesn't mean that they do. Their actions are saying otherwise. So you need to start having consequences for when they cross those boundaries of yours, because right now they're saying all this stuff, they're making lies, they're manipulating the situation, and you keep letting them redeem themselves. They pretend like they're loyal to you, but they don't care. They do whatever they want. You need to start being a warrior for yourself and protect yourself, because it's like you're surrounded by all these swords, you're not using them. Start using them. Start cutting them with your words. Start calling them out on things. They need consequences. That really feels like what's lacking right now, is you have these ideas in your head and you tell yourself you're not going to give this person another chance, but yet you do. Your boundary is you need to set boundaries with them and actually follow through with them. And your boundary to yourself is that you actually got to follow through with this, regardless of what they say. Because I feel like this person's a really smooth talker. They can make you start to change your mind, and you can't do that right now because it's just going to be more games with them. This cycle is always going to repeat unless you stop it. And so just start to gain more confidence in yourself and realize it's okay to walk away from them. Just because it's karmic doesn't mean you owe them anything. And so if this does resonate for you, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. And if you want to get your own private reading, all the ways you can purchase one is going to be linked in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye. So those of you who chose pile 5, a clear quartz, I'm going to put your crystal off to the side. So for your cards, you have the Queen of Cups, Judgment reversed, the Chariot, King of Wheels, Queen of Wheels, and White Buffalo Woman, Peace. So I'm going to take a moment to rearrange your cards so you can see them a bit better. So when it comes to what boundaries you need to set, I think it's fairly simple. You are the Queen of Cups here. You are this very loving, nurturing, kind, empathetic person. And you could be a water sign, you know, that's Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You don't need to necessarily be. This is just the energy that you embody. And so when you're embodying the Queen of Cups energy, this is someone who really cares about others, really wants to understand others, and also wants to work together to create a solution for everyone. The Queen of Cups is an energy in which she wants things to be fair. She wants this emotional understanding because she wants peace. She wants everyone to work together. She doesn't want separation. She doesn't want to hurt people. It literally feels to me like you are trying so hard to keep peace or to protect yourself, protect your loved ones. And to me, it feels like you have this energy where you don't judge people. You don't have this judgment. To me, it feels like you're more forgiving than some people, and specifically these two people, think. To me, it feels like you're willing to give people chances. You're willing to let them redeem themselves. You're willing to see the growth, see the change in someone. But at the same time, you're protecting your peace at all times, or this is saying you need to protect your peace. And you have the Chariot energy here. Again, this is that Cancer energy. Some of you could be Cancer signs or have Cancer in your chart. But the Chariot is someone where they're going to move forward with their life. They're not going to let things hold them back. They're not letting things stand in their way. it's a little bit of a running energy, but not in a bad way. And to me, it feels like you're running after your peace, or you're meant to run after your peace. So when it comes to your boundaries, you really need to set boundaries in regards to people who are disrupting your peace, because I think it's taking you a long time to figure out what makes you happy and what makes you calm. And I think the reason for this, you have the King of Wheels and the Queen of Wheels. This is a pairing, and they could be an earth sign, so that's going to be Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Doesn't have to be though. But to me, it feels like they have this very stubborn energy about them. It feels like they have this very black and white view on things. And I am getting the sense that this is your parents. If it's not your parents, it feels like it's some sort of pairing. I'm thinking it's a married couple. It's some sort of pairing in your life who is some sort of role model or authority figure in your life. And for a long time, they were controlling you. They might still be controlling some of you. And it feels like they have this very dominant opinion and perspective on your life and what you need to do. And I feel like there was some conflict in the relationship that trickled down to you. Perhaps it also trickled down to your siblings. And that's why peace is so important to you. You're trying to find your peace because you didn't have your peace with these people in your life. To me, it feels like their issues became your problem. And that's where you were able to learn how to empathize, how to understand people. And it's like you tried to fix them for so long, and you tried to spend so much time and energy getting them to change, and there's not been progress. And so what your spirit guides are telling you is that when it comes to the boundaries to set in your life, sometimes you need to know that it's okay to walk away from people, and it's okay to walk away from your parents or your family members. Whoever these people are to you, you can love them, you can have compassion and empathy for them, but in order to gain your peace, you have to be willing to walk away. You have to let them go, because they're not going to change. You've given them so much time to change, and they still haven't. Their wheels are still going to continue to turn. They're going to complete this cycle and follow it through and be in this endless loop. And it's not your responsibility to bring peace into their lives at the compromise of yourself. You chose clear quartz for a reason. This crystal represents cleansing. It represents purification. And that's exactly what needs to go on in your life. In order for these boundaries to be set, you have to cleanse your life of what is holding you back, what is not needed, what is compromising your peace. And I feel like this boundary is going to be difficult because you're trying to find a solution for everyone. You're trying to work together, and there's a little bit too much empathy on your part to try and understand. Sometimes the why doesn't matter if there's no change in behavior. It's great to understand people, but you're not their therapist. Like, you can't fix this for them, and even a therapist can't fix it for them. If they don't want to change, they're not going to. And it feels to me like they're stuck in their ways, and they've had this controlling demeanor over you for a very long time, and it's time for you to set boundaries to release it. This also could be playing out where maybe you have already cut these people off, and maybe you have mutual family members who are trying to get you to get back in touch with them. Stand firm on your boundaries that you've set. You don't need to reach out to people regardless of the issues. I feel like some people are going to try a lot of manipulating tactics, and they're really going to pull out all the guilt trips to make you reach back out. And what your spirit guides are indicating right now is that they know that you're a very emotional person, and not in a sense where it's a bad thing, but they understand your emotions are something that like really control the way you react, and it will make you step back on your boundaries and try and fix things because you feel bad, because you feel guilty. And these people, they know it, and they're going to try and manipulate that. They're trying to guilt trip you for a reason, and it's because they want to benefit from you not having any boundaries at all. And so your spirit guides are giving you this message to say, hey, set boundaries if you haven't already, walk away, find your peace. But if you have already done that, and these people or mutual friends or family is reaching out to you to try and get you to go back on your boundaries, stay strong with them. Because to me, this doesn't feel like it's random people in your life who you need to set boundaries with. This isn't an overall people thing. This is specific to these two people in your life. Your boundaries with them are warranted. They're protecting you, and you need to stand firm in them. Don't go back on them, because otherwise it's going to be complete chaos for you, and you're not going to have this peace. I know it might be hard not to reach out, but to me this really feels like it's something where you got to go cold turkey and just cut them off. And that's the boundary you got to set with them, because otherwise they're going to continue judging you. And because you're such a sensitive person, they really have the ability to tear you down. To me, it feels like you're not able to let what they say go. It really cuts deep. It really hurts you. And because that's the case, your boundary with them is to cut them off, block them, where you don't get this communication. You can't hear what they say. Because if you can't hear it, it can't hurt you. That's the cost of your peace. Like, you have to let them go and you have to move on and just have total apathy for them. And I feel like your spirit guides want you to know, it's like you've tried everything. You've tried to fix it. You've tried to get them the help and the resources that they need. You've tried to ignore it. At a certain point, the only thing you can do is move on. The only thing you can do is walk away. And I know that's not ideal. I know that's not what you want. But that's why you had to watch this boundary video, because someone else needed to tell you this. And I feel like there's not really much to say, because you know that you don't have issues with majority of the people in your life. You don't have these boundary issues with everyone you encounter. It's you have these specific people in your life who are not respecting your boundaries, or who you can't set boundaries with because you don't know how to go about it. You feel like you're wrong for doing so. And so you've just bottled everything up. And so really, like, there's nothing more to add besides what's already been said. Like, you know the energy that's being picked up here. You know who these people are. You know what your spirit guides mean when they say nothing's ever going to change, because nothing has changed. And you do want peace. But it's just frustrating for you because you wanted peace throughout the whole situation. You didn't want to have to walk away in order for there to be peace. And I think that's what you're struggling with right now. And it's okay to be struggling with it. This is not going to be an easy change for you. This is not going to be easy to do. It's just what you need to do in order to protect yourself. You really need to have a lot of strength right now, and you have to be very courageous with this, because it's not going to be an easy thing, especially because it feels like these people are so influential in your life. It's going to be very painful for you. It's going to be hard for you to do this because you've been chasing their validation and their approval and wanting to finally earn it one day, and you're not going to be able to have that chance and opportunity. But it's also extremely difficult because not everyone's going to understand how you're able to do it. You're going to have people telling you to go back or reach back out, and you're going to have people questioning what you're doing. And so this boundary is going to be one you have to implement with them, but that you have to keep reiterating to the people in your life who don't understand. And so I feel like this is going to be a bit exhausting for you. Like I said, I don't feel like this is fun, but I feel like your only boundary is literally going to be with actions, not with words. There's no boundary you can say to them that they would respect, that they would listen to. The only thing you can do is cut them out and walk away. Free yourself from them in order to get this peace. Don't communicate with them anymore. Because when you communicate, it just feeds the cycle even more. They're not looking to break the cycle, so you need to do so. That's how you're gonna find your peace. They'll be stuck in their cycle playing this game. You know, they'll either play with one another, they'll find someone else to. There could be a lot of people they already do this to, and you're just part of that group. But at least you'll be this Queen of Cups energy with your peace. And so I feel bad. I really just want to give you all a big hug. And I'm just sending you so much strength as you're going through this. But yeah, your boundary is you need to cut them off. You need to walk away. You need to stop communication. You need to block them in any way that you can. Like physically and social media wise, really just cut them out, because the cycle is not going to stop unless you actually take yourself out of it. That's why the Chariot is saying move on. And so I really hope this resonated for you and it gave you the guidance that you needed to hear. If it did, let me know in the YouTube comments down below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you a part of this family. And make sure you turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I'm going to have other videos linked to the cards above for you to watch now. And if you want to leave a donation or if you want to purchase your own reading, I would greatly appreciate it. All the ways you can contact me to purchase one of them is in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye.